Hey guys, welcome to my live over the next 30 minutes. I'm going to be talking about nutrition, eating healthy for gym and exercise. So, if you guys are looking for some tips around nutrition, eating healthy, for general health and fitness, and for the gym, then this is going to be the live for you over the next 30 minutes. If you guys have never seen me before, my name is Ross. I've got over a decade of experience in the health and fitness space. I've been running these TikTok live sessions since the start of January. I've been posting on social media now for around 6 months. And it's my pleasure to come on here and showcase my knowledge and talking about the most popular fitness topics. So if you guys find the live helpful, please like the live. Please feel free to engage. Ask me questions as we're running through. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions as we run through the session. But today we're going to be talking about eating healthy for the gym and exercise. And this is mainly around helping you guys understand how to fuel performance, muscle growth, fat loss, and recovery. So, what I want to do as a general introduction is shift your mindset from dieting to fueling performance. So, this is really, really crucial. So, when it comes to fitness or exercise, your workout is the stimulus, nutrition is the recovery and growth process. If training is the spark, food is the fuel. It's just imagine like your car. You've got to drive to a certain destination. You've got to put fuel in the car. That is what nutrition is. So when we go to the gym and we lift weights or we exercise, lifting weights creates microscopic muscle damage. Cardio depletes glycogen, so stored as carbs in the muscle. Recovery and adaptation happen after the workout, and nutrition determines how well that happens. So you guys have probably heard before that when it comes to getting in shape, it is 80% diet and 20% exercise. I completely stand by that. You can go to the gym once, twice per week, have your nutrition bang on, as opposed to someone who's going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week and they're eating terribly. So it's really, really important that nutrition is covered and that you guys have a good understanding of how actually important it is in terms of the outcomes, not just to your general health and fitness, but also as well to actually getting results from the gym. Because at the end of the day, although we love going to the gym for all of the mental health side of things and it gives us releases all of these endorphins, a huge part of it for all of us is all based around some of the physical aspects that we get. And this is where the nutrition side of things is super, super important. So just some of the key teaching points that I wanted to cover when it comes to nutrition. You can't build muscle without sufficient nutrients. So it doesn't matter how many times you're going to the gym, it doesn't matter how many times you're working out. If you are under eating on your calories, you can't build muscle. It's as simple as that. If you wanted to drive your car a 5-hour journey, but you've only put petrol in it for 1 hour, you are nowhere near going to get to that 5-hour journey. And that's why it's super, super important to think about your nutrition and think about it as this is the key building block when it comes to success. So guys, if you are liking the live so far, please like the live. Please feel free to ask comments, questions. I'm more than happy to answer them as we're running through. For anyone that is just joining, if you guys have never seen me before, my name is Ross. I'm based in London. Today we're talking about nutrition. We're talking about nutrition basics around general health and fitness and actually seeing results in the gym and from exercise. So guys, thank you very much for joining. Any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Secondly, you cannot lose fat sustainably if your diet is chaotic. So if there is no consistency to your diet, then you can't lose fat. If one week you're eating well, the next week you're not eating so great, it's a yo-yo effect. You need to be eating consistently in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. And that also means that if you are eating well Monday to Friday and then you are having a blowout on Saturday, Sunday, you are pretty much ruining your progress. And at the end of the day, we all put hard work in. We all want to get the best results out of it. And it all comes back to your diet and your nutrition. In saying that, you don't need to, you in saying that, you guys actually don't need to cut out all the foods. You guys don't need to cut out everything. At the end of the day, all you need to do is just have an element of balance. And that is what I teach. And lastly, on the key teaching points, you guys cannot perform well if you are under fueled. So this is going to mean that you're going to have a lack of energy and you're not going to be able to get the best out of your workouts. So for you guys that are watching, who at the moment trains 3 times per week, right? Who out there trains a minimum of 3 times per week at the moment? For myself, in terms of my current program, I do a minimum 3 day a week training split. I do no more than that, and I'm able to maintain a good physique. But the main thing what I do is I make sure that I have my nutrition dialed in at least Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday, I have a little bit of a treat, but for the majority of the time, I'm eating very, very well. So what we're going to move into next is nutrition foundations. So what actually matters when it comes to seeing the results that you want, and also as well making sure that all of the hard work that you're putting into the gym, that you're going to get the best bang for your buck. So firstly, we're going to talk about calories, and these are the foundations to nutrition. So before I go into the macros, I want to explain the energy balance. So for a little bit of context, calories is energy. To lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So nice and simple. If you guys don't know at the moment how many calories that you need to have every day, you need to go online to a calorie calculator. You then will fill out your information, height, weight, your current activity level. Whatever that current number is, once you do all of those measurements and calculations, that is what you need to have every day as a maintenance to maintain your current weight. If you want to lose fat, you need to subtract 250 calories off of that maintenance number. And this is why it's super, super crucial. If you want to lose fat, you need to make sure that you are in a calorie deficit. Not for 1 week, not for 2 weeks. This needs to be for a consistent 12 to 15 weeks. This is why it's super, super important. Consistency is key when we're talking about losing fat. To gain muscle, you need to be in a small calorie surplus. So, need to do the same process, calorie calculator, fill out your information, work out your calorie maintenance level, and you need to be in a slight surplus of 200 to 250 calories consistently. Not one day you're doing it, the next day you're not. Again, this process takes time. And I can, from myself, from my experience, I had to be eating in a calorie surplus for a long period of time in order for me to see results. And this is why there are no shortcuts, regardless of your results or where you want to get to, or the goal. There is no shortcuts when it comes to fitness. Thank you very much for liking my live. Appreciate that, cutest boy. Thank you for that. If you've got any questions, guys, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them as we run through. And then lastly, if you want to maintain your current physique or you want to maintain your current weight, maintenance calories, you just need to stay at that consistently. It's as simple as that. So, just as an important clarification, when I think about the general people in health and fitness or who are trying to look after themselves, many people blame carbs or fats, but total calorie balance matters the most. So carbs are not the enemy, fats are not the enemy. It's actually generally what you're having as a collection. What is your total calorie intake that you need, that you're having day to day on a week to week basis? Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of you people who are watching this are very much overeating on their calories because you don't need to eat as much food as what you expect. So super, super important. And you got, even if you eat healthy foods, you can still gain fat if your calories are too high. Again, it goes back to really, really important to make sure that you are tracking your calories. I know it's boring. To be honest with you, I only track my calories when it gets closer to summer. But because I've been training for so long, I track my calories for like 1 month to 2 months. And then you generally know, eyeballing it from eating every day, how many calories roughly that you're having. But I would recommend, if you don't know what your calories is or how to do it, I can do another video on that. Please let me know, guys, in the comments if you want me to do something along those lines. I would recommend to track your calories for at least a few weeks. Then you'll get an idea of how many calories you need to have every day, either depending on your goal to build muscle, to lose fat, or to maintain. So next, in terms of the nutrition basics, we're going to move into macronutrients. So this is going to be with a little bit more of deeper context. So the macronutrient that everyone knows, which is protein. So this is fantastic for muscle and recovery. The main reasons why protein is really crucial is because it repairs damaged muscle fibers, it supports lean mass during fat loss, and it's got a higher thermatic effect. So it burns more calories during digestion. So how much protein do you need to have every day? For me, nice and simple, I would say you guys need to have 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein each day. The way that I break this down for myself is I put my weight from kilos into pounds. So I'm 82 kilos. That is 180 pounds. I need to have 180 grams of protein each day. You guys don't need to be like a bodybuilder and have 6 meals a day and eat every 3 hours. I would just keep it simple, spread a good source of protein. So 1 gram per pound of body weight, for myself, it's 180 grams. I would split that as equal as possible across 3 meals. It's as simple as that. Most people undereat protein, and it's not, at the end of the day, it's not because they are aware, they generally are aware, they're not aware of how much protein they need to have, but they undereat protein so much and then they're surprised when they don't see the results that they want. So it's super, super important to prioritize protein. I always make sure that I try and get 40 to 50 grams of protein in my breakfast, because then I've started the day nice and strong. I'm not playing catch up. So next we're going to talk about carbohydrates. This is where this is going to be this is carbs are going to be able to uh, be the fuel for your performance. Sorry, I can't get my words out today. It's been a bit of a long day, but I'm going to explain glycogen firstly to begin with. So muscles store carbs as glycogen. Intense workouts rely heavily on glycogen. If you guys have a low carb intake, this will mean you have a reduced performance for many people. So that's why when we're talking about carbs, they are not bad. They are not the enemy. They're not going to get you super fat. They're not going to get you super overweight. They are there to fuel your body to get through these tough workouts. Because without these carbs in your body, low carbs are going to mean reduced performance. So make sure that you're reframing yourself in terms of what you're looking like, what you're thinking about carbs, because carbs are not the enemy. And I just want to clarify a bit of a misconception here. Carbs don't cause fat gain, excess calories do. It goes back to what are you having as a total calorie intake every day. It's not carbs. It's what are you having as the total calories every day with your protein, fats, and your carbs as a total. What are you having each day? That's why it's super, super important. The carbs are especially important when it comes to strength training, high intensity interval training, long cardio sessions. You need to fuel your body with the right nutrition in order to get the performance out of each of your sessions. So, guys, we've got around 10 minutes left of this session where we're talking about nutrition. If you guys are liking the live so far, please like the live. Please feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. If you guys have joined late, I do post up all of my lives to YouTube. So if you guys did want to watch them back, feel free to visit my YouTube channel, and I'll be more than happy to for you guys to watch those videos through. And feel free to ask me guys any questions here. If you guys don't want to do it here, we can you can DM me afterwards. Also, as well, guys, if you want to have a free 3-day full body split to follow in the gym, please go to the link in my bio, and then you guys can download that free of charge and then actually start using that program. So it's all there, guys. Either follow my live on here. If you guys are late, go onto YouTube. You can watch it from the start. And if you guys want to download a free 3-day full body split, my link is in the bio. Fill out your information and you'll get a new split ready to go. So, guys, next we're going to move on to is fat. So this is fantastic for hormones and health. So fat supports testosterone and estrogen balance. Extremely low fat diets negatively impact hormones, and fats are super, super important for joint comfort and fat soluble vitamin absorption. So it's really, really crucial when we're talking about. Thank you, Tom, for liking the live, by the way. Really appreciate it. You need to be thinking about all of your macros as real key pillars. You can't have one without the other. You can't just eat constant protein without having fats and carbs. Just like the others, you can't just have carbs without any protein or fats. So this is like a bit of a tripod. You can't have one without the other. So fats is super important, supports testosterone and estrogen balance. Extremely low fat diets may negatively impact your hormones, and it's important for joint comfort. High fat meals before workouts can reduce performance due to slow digestion. That's why your pre workout meal before you go to the gym should be simple carbs, something that will get you going, give you energy straight away. You don't want anything slow digesting in your system. That can be after your workouts. So 10 minutes left, guys. Any questions, feel free. Please ask them in the comments. Please don't be shy. I'm happy to go a little bit off topic. If you guys have got a question you guys want me to answer. Again, if you guys are joining this late, I will be uploading this to my YouTube where you've got all of my other lives there as well. And if you guys want a free 3-day full body split, the link is in the bio. So next we're going to be talking about micronutrients and fiber. So this is often overlooked and ignored. So vegetables, I know when we're all kids, our parents would be saying to us, you need to eat your vegetables, you need to eat your vegetables. I was against it for so many years. I have to say now, vegetables are really, really crucial when it comes to just living a general healthy lifestyle. Vegetables and fruits supports immunity and recovery. This is going to be great for you guys not getting sick. Also, as well, for your recovery once you've had your hard gym sessions. And fiber supports digestion and appetite control. If you have good fiber in your diet and you're hydrated, this is going to support your digestion and appetite control. If you haven't got no appetite control, this means then you're going to be overeating on your calories. Again, it goes back to that point. If you're overeating on your calories, you're getting further away from the goal. So you need to be thinking about what can I have in my diet that is not going to make me hungry and it's not going to be able to make me binge. And that's why fiber is super, super important. if you guys have a strong immune system, this is going to mean that you guys are going to be able to be consistent with your training. Because if we get sick, we get under the weather, not only is it going to be selfish to go to the gym, but in our best interests, you need to rest and recover. And that might take a few weeks off. Again, we all get sick, but we want to try and build up our immune system as strong as we can because we want to be as consistent as possible with our training. So we've got around 8 minutes left, guys. Please feel free. Don't be shy. Ask me questions. If you guys have got any comments, questions, or feedback, thank you guys for liking the live so far. I'm hoping that you guys are finding it helpful. So, hi, I'm Bozan. I went to the gym. I went into the treadmill and it broke as soon as I stepped on it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. At least you started. At least you started. That's the main thing. So next we're going to be talking about nutrients, timings, and workout fueling. So I did touch upon this before, but super important is you need to be having a good source of protein. Sorry, not a good source of protein. You need to be having something simple and digestible before you go to the gym. So if we're talking about a pre-workout nutrition, your goal is to increase your energy, prevent muscle breakdown, and improve your focus. The reason why carbs here are going to be fantastic for your pre-workout meal is they provide readily available glucose for training. And again, glucose is super important when it comes to the energy that is used during those high intensity interval sessions, during those strength training sessions, and during cardio sessions. So regardless of whatever you're training, carbs are super important. So we're going to also then talk about why protein helps. So protein helps because it provides amino acids to reduce muscle breakdown. So we're going to give an example breakdown here. So if you're training at 6 p.m., eat a balanced meal around 4 to 5 o'clock. Give yourself and give your body an hour at least to get it through your system before you go and train. Avoid large fatty meals immediately before your sessions. If you are training fasted, it's not dangerous, but performance may drop. For myself personally, I do not like training fasted. For me, my body needs carbs. I need it to fuel my workout. A small protein and carb snack, again, if you guys are training fasted, and improve your overall workout. So, Michael, yeah, I can speak to you afterwards about that. We can speak offline. Thank you very much, though, for leaving a comment. And yeah, if you've got any other questions, feel free to let me know. Guys, any other questions? We've got around 5 minutes left of this live at the moment. If you guys are finding this live helpful, please like the live, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions before we close out. Next, we're going to be talking about post-workout nutrition. So what happens after training? So muscles are more sensitive to nutrients after your workouts. So glycogen is depleted. Muscle protein synthesis increases as well. This is why it's super important to make sure that you're getting in your protein intake after your workouts. So 20 to 40 grams of protein is what you need. You need a moderate amount of carbs, and there's no need to panic, but don't delay excessively. You don't need to be going straight out of your last set and then diving into a full-blown meal, because after a high intensity session, even for me personally, if it's a high cardio session or a hard strength training session, the last thing I want to do is sit down and eat a heavy meal. It doesn't need to be within a 30-minute window, but refueling within a 1 to 2 hour windows is smart. And building a sustainable day structure. So I wanted to give you guys here a bit more of a practical element to this as opposed to me talking about this theory. But if we're talking about a daily structure framework, Again, going back to what I was preaching before, you want to anchor protein at each meal. So, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you want to have an optional snack throughout the day. Step two, you want to place most of your carbs around your workouts. So, pre workout, post workout, slightly lower carbs on rest days if fat loss is your goal. Make sure that you include vegetables every day, so 2 to 4 servings minimum. So in the mornings for your breakfast, you can have eggs and oats. This is great for energy and protein. For lunch, you can have chicken, rice, and vegetables. So this is a bit more of a balanced macro meal. For a snack, you can have Greek yogurt and some fruit. So this is an easy protein source. And for dinner, you can have salmon, potatoes, and salad. So this is more recovery focused. In terms of some of the most common mistakes that I see when it comes to nutrition, so eating too late, so leads to eating too little, leads to stalled fat loss, decreased metabolism, poor performance. If you guys are overeating on the weekends, this can erase weekly calorie deficit. Protein only after your workouts. So your protein needs to be consistent throughout the day. This is why I always talk about with breakfast. It is super, super critical to start your day right with 40 to 50 grams of protein. You need to stop relying on supplements as well. Supplements are only 5 to 10% of the results. If your core supplements, if you're thinking about it, all you need is protein powder, creatine 20 to 40 grams of protein per meal. Drink 2.5 to 3 liters of water each day and structure your meals instead of random snacking. But thank you guys very much for your time today. That concludes the 30-minute live that we've got. If you guys have got any questions, feel free to put them here or DM me afterwards. My next live is going to be tomorrow evening. So if you guys have got any questions, feedback, please DM me and I'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. The live tomorrow will be at 8 p.m. if you guys want to join. Have a lovely evening, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you then.